Hey YouTube, I am sharing with you today my first aid kit. I don't know if you've ever bought a first aid kit from like Academy or the pharmacy, but they're full of junk that's just useless. Little single serving aspirin and little single serving ointments and all sorts of junk that you're digging through that don't really add any value, but they sound good when they're in a medical kit. I've always made my own. So I'll just start and tell you how I made this one. So this bag I got from Amazon. It's just a military style medical kit bag. It's got MOLLE on the front. This is MOLLE. It's attached to, it's designed to attach to like a backpack or a wall inside a vehicle or something like that. And it's Velcroed on, so if you wanted to rip it loose and leave it mounted so you could just pull it off by its handle, that's what this is for. So it's a nice little setup. So I'll get into it now. The strap is designed so it doesn't come loose from the Velcro by accident. And then there's a secondary kind of accidental opening safeguard for the Velcro strap that goes in there. And then I'll just open it up and give it an open. And so you see it kind of lays everything out really nicely. There's a little pouch for small items and then compartments to hold different things. And I'll just kind of go through what's in my kit. I've kind of put it together over the years. A little set of tweezers, Rolaids, Pepto. You know, we do a lot of international travel, so that's why that's in there, and there's some Imodium in there too. Then there's regular size, oh no, those are the big ones. These are the large scuff abrasion bandages. That's if you get a large scuff on your knee or elbow or on your arm. It just gives you bigger coverage. And then the small or typical size band-aids, so if you get a cut on a finger or somewhere, you can cover that and tend to that. So that's in that pouch. And then in the next pouch, I've got saline spray. I actually put this in there because if you read, they tell you shouldn't clean a wound with alcohol or peroxide because it actually damages the skin and prevents or hinders healing when it does get better. So saline solution or just a bottled water that you haven't opened or drank out of is better than using alcohol to rinse out a wound until you can get to real medical care. So that's what that's for. I mean, you can use it for nasal spray, but that's why I have it in there, to like flush out a wound if you need to. I added eye drops this year because my niece got something in her eye on a trip in Greece and really was suffering from it. So just some allergy eye drops. So if you have an allergy problems or if you get something in your eye and you need something to kind of rinse your eye out to get a piece of dirt out, they're just something easy to rinse out an eye. And then I've got hand sanitizer for like if you're, tending to a cut on somebody else, you can clean your hands up before you do it. And then, Neosporin or antibiotic ointment. Then there's cortisone. You get a bee sting or some other kind of rash or something, helps prevent it from itching. Gauze rolls, like if you need to wrap up a really bad scuff on an arm or something, it gives you better coverage area. This is just typical cloth medical tape, so if you need to tape on some gauze or these things. And then I have large gauze pads, and I only put the big gauze pads in because you can always cut these or fold them if you've got something smaller you want to cover. So I just put the large gauze pads in. And then down here, there's a larger gauze tape, again, if you want to cover a bigger area. So I guess we'll stay with wounds. This is a triage bandage. So this has got like a heavy pad in it. It's got a ACE bandage, and it's got a tourniquet feature. There's a little plastic piece in there. This is called an Israeli bandage. You can Google that if you want to find one, but this is like if you hit yourself with an axe or cut yourself really, really deeply with a knife or something like that. And then down here, these are closures. So like if you've had surgery or something like that, they'll use these to hold an incision closed. So if you cut yourself a long cut or something with a a knife or an axe or something, you can hold the wound closed until you get to a doctor where they can stitch it better. And then this is QuikClot. This stuff works great, actually. It's just a pad, and if you have a deep wound that won't stop bleeding, you just put this in there or on it, and it really stops it. I had a small one in my old kit, and I cut my ankle open with a saw blade that was sitting on the ground and kicked it, and was really bleeding, and put that on there, and it stopped it in like seconds. It was amazing. So I always keep that in my kit. So that's in there, and then medicines. I keep Dramamine. You know, we go sailing and things like that. This is the drowsy version of Dramamine, but it works better, and it's stronger, and it works faster. So if somebody's on a boat with us or something and gets seasick, I give them those. And then I carry the non-drowsy formula. It's like 24 hours. And this you give to somebody preemptively. That's what I do, is give it to them preemptively. I take a couple before I go sailing, just so I don't get, because I have a little hint of motion sickness. And then Imodium. I put a little bottle of Imodium. Again, we travel overseas a lot, third world countries, and you know, water and food can get to you. And then Benadryl is great. It actually works great because if you get a rash or if you have an allergy attack, because especially if you travel overseas, you can find that you're allergic to some plant or creature or something over there that you weren't. And Benadryl will actually help ease any kind of allergic reaction or sting reaction, so it's good to just have. And then ibuprofen, you know, for headaches or muscle aches or sprains or whatever. So that is my kit. If you have any questions, let me know. Post a comment. I'd love feedback if you think there's something else I should add. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Like me if you like the video.